doing?
I'm going to be in it.
He thinks we're in the news desk.
Yes.
Thinks we're in the news desk. Welcome back to The Unconventional Life. It is season 3, back in New York City. I have been back to Australia for 10 amazing weeks. The weather was beautiful. Spent all the time cuddling my little boys at the beach, having a rest. It was amazing. I hope everyone had a great summer, and I'm back in New York, and look at it. It is amazing. Everything is pumping. Everyone's excited for the remainder of the year, and I am super pumped to be bringing to you another season of The Unconventional Life. And we're going to be doing all things New York, small to medium business, chasing dreams, pushing boundaries, breaking society's norms. We are going to do it all. So please join me as we start this amazing next season. So we are back for episode 41. Can you believe I've done 41 episodes of the vlog? Very cool. We're at Primary. I'm with my buddy Giuseppe from Say Bookkeeping. Give him a plug. Amazing business, growing really fast. New York and Miami. Anyway, back to my vlog. And this is all about business relationships. So we're about to run an event, and we're going to talk about how to network, build relationships in business, and get lots of tips. So it's going to be great. And I'm so glad you're here. Oh, here she is.
Hello, lovely.
Hi. Oh, you look really nice. I need to give her some. Look at her. Doesn't she look beautiful?
Gorgeous. Thank you.
Yes. How are you?
So we took the disc profile today. I took the disc profile today.
Did you do it like?
I loved it. And I was like, part of me was just like, this is a trick fucking question, right? These are all trick questions.
Of course.
Like, empathetic, but very straightforward.
What are these?
And I'm like, I'm just gonna go with what Sel told me to do, which is like, no, don't hesitate.
Don't think.
Yeah. So I just did.
My name is Allie. I am the Vice President of Growth at Say Bookkeeping. Giuseppe and I have gone to college together. We've taught English in Thailand and South Korea together. We've lived in Miami together. We're best buds, and now we're in business together. So my job is to make sure that people that need to know other people in a strategic way are introduced to each other. And the reason that these lovely people sitting next to me are sitting next to me tonight is because we did just that. So this is kind of like a case study as to the title of the event, right? So we moved into Primary. Sel was our neighbor at What's Next PX. She needed help with bookkeeping. I'll let her introduce herself, but we hired her. She hired us.
Yes, I'm Sel, and as Ali said, basically I'm a lover of business and have, and particularly at founder and startup stage. So I started a consultancy firm 12 years ago. So I'm in some tech companies, some tracking devices, interesting kids platforms. I'm also a vlogger, and generally just try to share my message of the messages that I have around being an entrepreneur and the love of business. So yeah. Going to networking events. Actually, I'll say two things. One is that I've just spent 12 years building a business in Australia, and then I came here in the last 18 months. And one of the things that I've really learnt being here is I valued my network in Australia because the business grew off that. But coming into a completely new country with not knowing one person, you go, wow, really the network is the most important thing, because the Australian team are still getting brand new clients and winning business because of something that I did 5 years ago. Like it's like a snowball effect. And so then when you start again in a completely new place where you know no one, you're like, wow, it just builds and builds and builds. But one thing I would say about going to a networking event is that if you're going for the purpose of seeing whether there is your target market there and someone that's going to buy from you, then my approach is I really don't say anything. I try not to talk about myself at all. I'm basically trying to hear, are you someone that is worth me then arranging a coffee that I can then talk about what I do, but I try not to spend any time at the actual event talking about me at all, because then I haven't done in my interview, I haven't done any assessment. And so I don't want to do the whole, like you're standing there talking with someone and then you're like, okay, let's grab a coffee, and then you go and grab a coffee and you're spending one-on-one time with someone who's just not ever going to, and I know this sounds really harsh, but ultimately if that's the purpose of going to the networking event is to see if you can pick up a client, then you should be doing 20% of the talking, because how can you assess whether you want to spend any of your one-on-one time with them? In relation to that listening, we have done so much connection through hearing things around like, oh, it's my daughter's graduation, or we're going on a family vacation, and then we send them a card, or we send them an article from the paper about that destination, or we write an email to say any sort of message to say, you know, how's the daughter's graduation? Like that stuff is just that because I started when there was no social media. And so it was all about writing note cards, which one of the things probably the old-fashioned things that I have always done to build relationships is write notes. So I get these cards printed without my branding. I have done it with all my businesses, actually even when I was not running my own businesses. And if I've had a good meeting with someone or someone's done something to help me, I always send a note in the mail. And I think now, in this day and age, it's even more powerful because we get everything electronically. So this is one of the things that I do to build strong relationships. But all of that, taking articles out of the paper, remembering those important dates, that's how you built relationships when there was no social media. And we still use them, and a big element of what I talk to my team about is the little things. It's the little things that have actually built my consulting firm. A $200,000 client because of this one thing. So when in Australia we have our own office and with car parks, and you know, as you can imagine, there's more space. And so if you were to come to our office, we would invite you to come and you could park your car, and we would send you an email that says that, you know, we're looking forward to you coming and that we have a car park for you and with directions. And then on the day you'd get a text message saying we're really looking forward to you coming to our office. And then when you pull up, there's a sign that would say Giuseppe and your brand, your logo underneath. So you pull up like a VIP. And then when you come in, we have someone greet you at the top of the stairs as you walk in. And when you leave, there is a card left on your car that tells you, because you came to your office, that we've just given, I think it's something like 150 days of clean water to a family in Malawi. And so that costs us nothing. A little bit of administrative time. We won a $200,000 client that, like, they specifically said the experience we had coming into your office was one where we knew that you were into the detail that makes all the difference. Now that is a process that we do. Simple, no cost. We do it for everyone, and you can imagine the feeling that you have when you come. And so the business relationships, whether it's at a networking event, getting a card in the mail, an experience when you come to someone's office, it's about how someone makes you feel, and whether you feel listened to or understood, or someone looks you in the eye, or when you're talking to them, they're looking around to see who else is in the room. It's all about how you feel. And these little things we've instilled throughout I've scattered them throughout my business over the last 12 years in everything we do, and they cost us nothing. And I do believe that they're the reason that we've grown so rapidly and been so ahead of our competitors.
Right? Now, I have a CPA that in Miami that I knew from my very first networking group that I went to when I started out. And he passed me 2 referrals that turned into business. And because of that, I assumed that he would be a good referral source to pass.
thing to think about with strategic alliances, or that's what we call them, where you've got other businesses who have the same target market as you, and so you see that, okay, we can refer business to each other. We have a strategic, well, we used to have quite a detailed strategic alliance process, and one of the things that I worked out was that the businesses that you think might be the ideal strategic alliance often aren't. So for example, in our business of consulting in people performance, human resources, it's called in Australia, it's different here. We looked and went, you know what, the ideal strategic alliances are business coaches and accountants and lawyers. And in fact, they're actually the worst for us. Like, they are in front of our clients, sort of when it was just starting, and we built this massive global brand from Twitter, and we went to this conference. So consider this, we were just a small, Australian business, and we went to this conference in America, or here, that was all like US people. So basically, I'm an entrepreneur who wants to build businesses, right? So I saw a niche in the market of HR for small to medium businesses and started it. And so I dropped out of college 3 times. I can't learn that way. I tried, because that's what everyone does. Mm-hmm. Hence why my vlog's called The Unconventional Life. It just didn't work for me. And I finally just went, I know the way I need to learn. And I built my business. And because we were working in a professional services space, I never told anyone that I wasn't, like my staff knew, but like clients or prospects never knew about the fact that I do not have any qualifications. And so if it ever came up, it'd be like, oh, all my staff are amazingly qualified, which was true. I wasn't. Yeah, so I never said I was when I wasn't. I never lied. But really, I'm a business builder. That's what I do. And so I never said it. And I was always like, had this thing about the fact that, to me it was like the elephant in the room that no one knew about. But then when the business hit about 5 and it started to take off and it was successful, now it's a key story, a key part of my story about being able to build successful things the way you want to, and you don't. And I've done lots of motivational talks about not having, starting my business with no qualifications, no money at the start of the GFC, with a brand new baby and nothing going for me, absolutely nothing going for me, and being able to build something from a vision. So that was like my thing of like, I didn't lie, I just didn't tell them. It didn't impact what we delivered. But had I told them, it could have changed their view of me. Until then it turned around, and now it's like, oh yeah, Sel's got no idea. She's not even qualified. How does she even do this? It's a joke, but it's also an inspirational story for those who want to take a different path to the traditional. So, did I end it okay?
I love it.
So wrapping up on episode 41 and the first one of season 3 back here in New York City, woohoo! And what a great one. We had this amazing panel tonight, which was really intimate. It was like small, and we got to have, it's quite different to how I normally do talks, where you sit at the room and you're sort of talking to the audience. We were actually being able to really connect and also learn from each other, all about business relationships, and what a great way to show how to build business relationships. I hope you're loving it, and if you want anything in particular, let me know. Subscribe, and thanks guys, it's so good to be back.